I've been wanting to race World Cups for a long time. So yeah, looking at different ways to get there. And it's definitely a little difficult in, I guess, mostly the TC area to even find teams to help you get to UCI races. So yeah, having a team like this that's focused on that, and we all kind of have the same goals, and maybe some of us have, other disciplines we enjoy too, but we're mostly going to be mountain biking and trying to get to these UCI races to get points, will be super helpful because yeah, it's hard to know where to go from, I guess, this point. You're like, well, how do I get to that spot? I want to do this, but I just don't know how to get there. So I think that's definitely what we want this team to help with, and be able to get riders to where they want to be.
From KOM Cycling and Michigan Midpack Media, welcome to the Dirty Chain Podcast, the podcast that covers the cycling scene from the viewpoint of the Michigan Midpack. I am your host, Trevor, and on this episode, I talk with Emma Schwab and Justin Morris about the Great Lakes Off-Road Racing Initiative, or GLORi, a brand new development mountain bike racing team out of Traverse City, Michigan, making its debut this 2023 season. Before we get to that conversation, of course, a happy new year to everyone. I realize we are a few weeks into the new year already, and if you're like me, you've already broken all your resolutions. But yes, happy new year, and I'm excited to be back on the podcast talking with you all. And I took a little bit of a break at the end of last year, but excited to hit it hard, not only with the podcast, but also with the cycling and racing this season. And speaking of new seasons, hard to believe that the season is right around the corner. I mean, it seems like racing has already even started. There's been a little bit of fat biking, even though there's zero snow in Michigan. But fat biking season is here, and before we know it, there'll be some gravel races and mountain bike races. I'm still not quite sure what my final schedule for 2023 will be. I know I have a few on the horizon that I'll be talking about in future episodes, but I'm so excited for this season to get after it, and I'm excited to see you all at different races as well. So I think it was during the Iceman Expo that I met Justin Morris, and actually Garrett Genema came up to me, and Justin as well, and they told me about the new racing team out of Traverse City called GLORi, and it was pretty intriguing to me and pretty exciting. First off, because of the level and caliber of riders that are on the team. All young riders, but definitely some of the strongest in the state. As I mentioned, Garrett and Kyan Olshov, Max Meyer, Drew Cummins, and also Emma Schwab, who I got to talk to for this episode, as well as coach and director Justin Morris. I've been thinking about it for the last few weeks and months, and thinking that this would be a great story and a great conversation to have, to get to know more about the team itself, their goals, what they're looking to accomplish as a team, and also get to know more about the people behind the team itself. I don't really know Emma very well, but I thought this would be a great opportunity to get to know her better, and her background as a cyclist, And Justin also joined us as well as the team manager, and it was cool to hear his story and motivation to wanting to support these young riders and start this team. So I'm super excited to see how they do this year, and I'm really excited for you all to hear their story and follow them along this year as well. So let's get right to it. Emma Schwab and Justin Morris from GLORi Racing Team out of Traverse City, Michigan. You're about to go on holiday, right? Or are you just going to visit family?
Well, yeah, it's kind of both, yeah. But my family's all back home in Australia, so yeah, we're going back to visit family and do some work because half of my business is in Australia. So go and visit my clients there, show my rest of my family our new baby. So that's the main purpose. And
oh wow!
Enjoy some weather that's half decent.
Well, it's summer, right? Down there?
Yeah.
Right
yeah,
now?
Middle of summer. It's like 90 degrees. It's sunny every day, down at the beach.
The Tour Down Under, doesn't that start here soon or?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday? Yeah, and I know the
Adelaide.
Australian Open also just started too. I'm a big tennis fan, so
yeah.
I always like the January because it seems like there's like a big lull in a lot of sports, but then I can always rely on some cool stuff coming out of Australia because it's summer, of course. But
yeah, it's the peak time down there. If you're into tennis, cricket, cycling, then you just have to adjust your body to some strange time zones if you want to watch it live. So.
I can't say I know or care too much about cricket, but for the rest of the sports, I think for
it's
sure.
our version of baseball.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. I'm glad that both of you had time to sit down and chat about the new team. I think we can just jump right into it if you both are good with that. I thought this would be a cool opportunity for myself and the listeners to hear more about Great I knew I was going to screw this up. Great Lakes Off-Road Racing Initiative. I thought of GLORi.
Great Lakes Off-Road Initiative. So then you can just say GLORi. The acronym makes it a bit easier.
Yeah, I thought but I had to at least try that to introduce it in the first place. But Great Lakes Off-Road Initiative.
It's a mouthful.
And no, it's great. And GLORi is a perfect way to refer to it as. But yes, I wanted to know more about the team, but then also get to know. Oh man, I knew my dog was going to start barking right away. Get to know the two of you a little better. So before we actually dive into the team, the new team, and all the ins and outs of that, can we kind of get a little introduction and get to know both of you? Now I'm here with Justin and also Emma. So Emma, why don't we start with you, one of the athletes? Can you kind of introduce yourself and how you got involved in this team? And before you do, I'm going to step away and grab my dog and make sure he doesn't bark through this entire interview. So maybe it gives you a second to think about what you're going to say. Cool. This is not going to happen the whole time, I promise you. Give me 2 seconds.
What's his or her name?
His name is Buckley. And he just, I don't know, he just barks too much. He's the worst dog to have if you try to do a podcast, that's for sure.
Yeah,
he'll just kind of roam around as I'm trying to record, and we have like hard floors, so it's just like nails on the floor. He's like,
well, I got a baby at home, and that's part of the reason why we're here at Emma's house. Is my house has got it, and that's I feel your pain. The baby's fine.
And you do a podcast too, Justin, don't you?
Yeah. Mind Matters Athlete Coaching, which is my coaching company.
Okay.
And I've been doing it for a couple of years now. I'm not as quite professional or as regular with it as yourself, but I've had a few good episodes. Yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, great. Okay. Hopefully the dog is situated. So Emma, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into, I guess, racing bikes, and then how you got involved in the GLORi team.
Yeah, so when I was younger, I guess I used to cross country ski a lot. Ever since I could walk, I've been on cross country skis. There's pictures of me with a pacifier in my mouth, wearing a full onesie out there skiing. So my family's always been into a lot of sports. My sister actually got into biking first, and I actually hated it when I was younger. I was not good. My family did not think I was going to be a cyclist because I'd always crash and I just didn't like it. But for some reason over time, I just started liking it more. And I like the technical parts of it. So I went to nationals in West Virginia. I think it was 2016 the first time. And that was kind of a shock to cycling. I did not know that everything could be that technical because I'm used to Michigan riding. It's just sand and flowy single tracks and stuff. So at first it was kind of terrifying, but then it was rewarding because, I like technical stuff. And then being able to do it was I don't know, felt like kind of my thing, I guess, after that. So I got into it more, started training more. And then I went to college and raced for a team for a little while. But then COVID hit, so I stopped racing for them and then kind of was trying to decide what I wanted to do. And then this year I did racing more. I actually got coaching from Justin, which helped a ton and then really got me back into it a lot. And then creating this GLORi team is super exciting because all these people on the team I've known for years. I've been racing with them and riding with them for years. I mean, Garrett, I've known since I was 15, and then some of the others since I was 16. So it's exciting to be on a team with all my closest friends and seeing them go far with their sport too. It's just exciting to be a part of it.
Fantastic. So you're in the Traverse City area. Did you grow up in Traverse City or in that area?
Yeah, I've been here ever since I was born. So yep, I've been riding just these trails close to Kalkaska. So I ride Iceman a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that totally makes sense. Beginning with Nordic skiing and that sort of scene, and then moving toward cycling. That it's kind of that just makes sense, that transition a little bit. And you did mention going to nationals, and it sounds like you did that in high school.
Yeah, I think my first year I was 15, 16. That was my age group. So yeah, I kind of saw a friend do it that was from Grand Rapids area. I saw she went to, I think, California, and I was like, oh, why don't I do that? Because I hadn't really heard about it until I saw her do it. So yeah, I was excited to go there. And West Virginia is kind of snowshoes in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. So when you get there, you're on top of a mountain, and we went and rode the course, and I was like, oh my goodness, I have to ride this stuff. I usually walk over rocks.
What is is it an XCO style, or what did they actually call it? What event, I guess? It's mountain bike. It's not just mountain bike nationals. Is it something, does it have some other?
Mountain bike nationals. Okay. So it would be, it's cross country style races. So I did a cross country race, and then I did a short track race. Okay. And every year I think they switch which one's first. But yeah, there's only 2 races. And it's kind of similar to a World Cup race. Yeah. I feel the laps are usually a little longer than World Cup laps, but yeah, it's similar to that. And there's a lot of really good riders there. It's always surprising how many people are in your age group.
I'm always blown away when I watch any sort of World Cup course or XCO style course. I'm this is cross country. I mean, this is some gnarly stuff. I mean, and being used to riding Iceman, it's a totally different situation. And so, yeah, I mean, the amount of handling and how good your skills have to be on that side of things, it's beyond me. And I can't believe, I'm super impressed with anyone that's racing in that style. And then you did mention that you and Justin started working together. It was that was in the last year or so, in a coaching athlete kind of thing.
Yeah, last July, I think, is when I started with him because I was getting into it more. I did some races. I went to my first few UCI races and realized that I needed to do a lot more training to even compete with them. So yeah, having his coaching it's improved me so much. It's made a huge difference. So yeah, right before Order Shore, I got a lot of coaching, and I saw a huge difference just from the few races before that to Order Shore. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's so exciting. I'm excited for this season.
Did you work with a coach in the past, or just kind of did things by feel?
My first coach was when I was in college, which was a little different because he was like just the team coach.
Sure.
So he was coaching a few people and it was just a busy season. I had a coach for a little while, I think in the winter of 2020, but then ended up kind of too busy with work and didn't do as much training and racing. But I think finding the right coach makes a huge difference too. And this has just been perfect.
How is it to have a coach local? Because I don't think that happens that often.
That's the best part. Yeah, when I was in college, since that was good too, since he could see me racing, even though that was kind of different coaching since he was coaching all of us in a way. But yeah, having a local coach makes a huge difference because being able to ride with them and them actually seeing you ride and your strengths and what you need to work on. I mean, I think it's super beneficial. It's amazing.
Yeah. It might be a little easier to ghost your coach when they live across the country than if you run into them at Tom's or something at the grocery store, yeah, exactly. Cool. Like Emma, I don't think we haven't officially met, but I do have a funny story. Ore to Shore last year, it was after Ore to Shore, and my wife and I were at Downwind Sports, I believe. And we're just there, looking around and everything, and a family comes in and someone's looking at a bike, and we put two and two together that it was you the day after you won Ore to Shore, and I believe you bought a new bike, correct?
I did. I bought a trail bike actually because I've been looking for this specific trail bike for a long time and most people didn't carry them. It's a giant trance. I actually have it down here right now.
Nice.
Because it's so nice. Yeah. I've been looking for one for a while. So we just kind of stopped in to see what they had and they actually had one on display. So I rode it around and I fell in love with it. I had to get it. I wanted one so bad. So yeah.
That's such a cool story of like going up there, smashing the race and winning, and then being like, I'm going to buy a new bike now.
I didn't expect any of that to happen. So that was like an amazing weekend. Very unbelievable to me.
That's so cool. Have you done Ore to Shore before? Or was that your first time?
I had done Ore to Shore before, but I'd only done the soft rock, so the 28-mile one. I think I'd done that like 3 times. I had done it when I was really, really little, but I don't remember it because I did just the kids race. But yeah, and then I skipped a few years and that was my first time doing the longer 48-mile race. And I really love that course. That one's really fun. And it was perfect conditions.
It was. And that was the first time I had done it. And that's like the right amount of gnarly mountain bike for me. I know there's some more, there's some other races up there in the Marquette area that, are much more technical. But I enjoyed. It kind of reminds me of just like a longer Iceman, like the UP Iceman or something. It's just, as like a gravel rider, it's perfect for me because you can, have like a good steady cadence and just kind of go. But anyways, that aside, that was just a cool way to be introduced to you. I don't think I knew much about you before that. And I'm like, man, she's local. I got to look into her and see what's going on. So that's very cool. Justin, I'm interested to hear about your story here with not only with GLORi, but you're in the Traverse City area, of course, as a coach, and now as what would you call it, as the team director. Tell us about like you more so as an athlete and as a coach, and then how that progressed into being into starting GLORi.
Yeah, cool, Trevor. Well, it's been a while. I've been getting on now, so it's the cycling journey for myself started back in 1999, and actually it was XCO racing that first sparked my imagination and sparked my interest in cycling in general, which is, funnily enough, what GLORi is now focusing on this year.
Yeah.
There was a World Cup, an XCO World Cup that came to my hometown. I'm not from Traverse City, you can probably tell. I'm from Sydney, Australia, and we had a World Cup there, which was a warm-up event for the Olympic Games. And my dad and I went to watch the race, and I just remember thinking, hey, this is so cool. I want to do this one day. And watching those pros ride around the course there and seeing the technical features. And yeah, anyway, I went from there and got myself a $500 mountain bike, just a basic one, and worked at KFC to pay for it for many years. And started racing.
There's KFC in Australia?
Yeah, we got KFC, we got McDonald's, we got everything. It's so that's how my cycling life, my inspiration for cycling started was from XCO racing, and I kept at it for many years. I live with type 1 diabetes, which is probably what makes my story a little more complicated than most professional athletes. But so I was kind of dealing with that while starting to be an athlete, and it took about 10 years until I got to fulfill my dream that I set for myself after I'd watched that World Cup mountain bike race, and I got to sign a professional contract as a bike rider, and that was in 2009. But I'd switched to road at that point, so I was now a roadie, and I did that for 5 years. I raced for a team. It still exists, called Team Novo Nordisk. I did that for 5 years, raced for them. It was called something different at the time, but now they still get around. So yeah, I got a lot of experience from road racing and before that mountain biking. And then after I finished road racing, I kind of got caught up in all the politics of the sport, and I was getting, a bit bummed by the negative aspects in road cycling. I mean, there's lots of positive aspects of it, and with the benefit of hindsight, I'm more aware of them now than I was when I was in the thick of it. But coming out of that, I was just kind of a bit jaded by road cycling, so I wanted to get back into mountain biking, and I went back to mountain bike racing, but more specifically marathon mountain bike racing. And I've been doing that ever since I stopped being a professional. So that was 2015. And got to do some awesome races all around the world, and with my mountain bike teams called marathonmtb.com. It's been really cool. It's just kind of kept my inspiration for the sport really strong. I'm still motivated and still driven to keep riding. I did a fat bike race here on the weekend in Boyne. That was cool.
Oh yeah.
And since I've always been in the bike industry. When I was a kid, working in bike stores, being a bike mechanic. I still do a bit of that now as well, actually. But after I stopped being a professional rider, I started to work for some teams. I helped develop 2 road teams in Australia, and I kind of put them together. One of them's still going. Another one ran for 14 years, doing the domestic series in Australia. And I helped manage a development team for Team Novo Nordisk, my former pro team, help them, the development team, do some racing in Oceania and Asia for one season, which was really cool. So I got these skills together, and then I moved into coaching probably in the last 5-6 years, and then moving here and meeting these riders. That was kind of when this idea for GLORi came about. Was I get to know the riders as their coach, and they're awesome athletes, and I really appreciate working with them and seeing them excel. But you get to know their dreams. As a coach, a big part of coaching, I believe, is helping an athlete with goal setting. And you hear their goals, I'm like, wow, this is awesome. These riders, they want to do World Cups. They want to race the world titles. They want to, go professional. Having been in the game a while, I kind of know what's required to get there. And when I hear these dreams, and then I look at what's available for a young cyclist in this part of the country, I kind of like, wow, there's something missing. There's a couple of rungs missing in the ladder here to be able to get to that level. And there is some support, don't get me wrong, but the real kind of crucial steps, which it means getting to UCI races, getting international ranking points, things like that, there's not much facility to make that happen for riders from this part of Michigan or this part of the USA. I thought, well, I've got the skills and know how to develop a team. I've done it before. There's heaps of support for these riders here. They're popular young people, as you can probably tell from chatting to Emma. She's awesome. And the other riders, Kyan and Garrett and Max and Drew, they're popular people here in town. And there's lots of support from local businesses to see them go far. So we kind of started the program, and it's been going, well, we haven't done our first race yet, but the team's officially launched now, and we've got the money in the bank and ready to get them to some of these UCI races this year. So, it's exciting times. It's all beginning, but good times ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like, you and your experience seem to be the right person to kind of help get this started and off the ground. I'm a little curious, and I guess I ask this to both of you. First question would you consider this to be a developmental or a development team, or I don't mean that in a negative way, but I'm just it's all of you are young riders, and it's and you're all very accomplished riders already in your own right. So would you consider this a development team, or are you looking at it in a different way?
Yeah, 100% a development team.
Okay.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, no one's making money out of this. This is just a kind of a community-led, volunteer type organization to try and see these riders do well. And I think the aim of this is to get the riders to a level where they're comfortable racing at a professional or UCI level, where they can maybe get noticed by a professional team and get them onto a bigger and better program from what GLORi can offer. So it's like a stepping stone, I suppose, like a rung in the ladder, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
So definitely a development team is just creating opportunities for local riders. Yeah.
And I'm wondering where, for all of the athletes, or I guess GLORi as a whole, like where was the focus on mountain biking? Was that always at the beginning, like we want to start a mountain bike team? I ask this because I'm a little outside of that genre of cycling, but I don't see a lot of just pure mountain bike teams getting started, especially in this area. I mean, a while ago it used to be road, and now it's kind of like gravel, and whether or not those are teams or not. But yeah, so I'm interested in, and I think that's what makes this really exciting and interesting, is the fact that the focus is mountain biking. So I mean, Emma, it sounds like your experience is mostly mountain biking, and it sounds like that's your not only focus, but like where your goals are in the mountain biking side of things, correct?
Yeah, definitely. I've been wanting to race World Cups for a long time. So yeah, looking at different ways to get there. And it's definitely a little difficult in, I guess, mostly the TC area to even find teams to help you get to UCI races. So yeah, having a team like this that's focused on that, and we all kind of have the same goals, and maybe some of us have, other disciplines we enjoy too, but we're mostly going to be mountain biking and trying to get to these UCI races to get points, will be super helpful, because yeah, it's hard to know where to go from, I guess, this point. You're like, well, how do I get to that spot? I want to do this, but I just don't know how to get there. So I think that's definitely what we want this team to help with, be able to get riders to where they want to be.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you touched on something there, that mountain biking, there's a bit of a gap in the market as far as teams and development programs exist for specifically cross-country mountain biking. There is some, don't get me wrong, and I think there's quite a bit of support if these riders were to be in Boulder, Colorado, or somewhere in California. Or I know there's some good teams, but just up here for these guys to ride together. And mountain biking is huge in Traverse City. I mean, you've been here, you've seen how big the Iceman is, the trails are awesome, and there's a legit pathway to be a professional. So if you want to be a professional bike rider, the UCI disciplines are kind of where you got to sharpen your focus towards. And XCO racing, it's been around since the early 90s. It's an Olympic sport. There's a legit pathway to be a professional in XCO racing. Whereas, gravel's on the rise, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of more suited to privateer type athletes, and road racing, which is where most of my background's in. I mean, it's awesome, and there's definite pathway to become a professional there. But in this part of Michigan, there's no road races to do. There's very little development to happen. You kind of got to be driving down to where you are, Grand Rapids or Ann Arbor or something, a couple of times a week to be able to get the rungs on the board to be a road racer. So, and at the end of the day, whatever sport you choose, you got to love it if you want to go far with it. And these riders, they love mountain biking. So yeah, puts a smile on your doll. You're going to be motivated to keep pursuing it.
Even before the announcement of this team, I think it's pretty evident the amount of talent coming out of the Traverse City area, young talent especially, and it just seems like there's always really talented riders. Emma, do you think that growing up in that area kind of helped foster not only a love for the sport, but just it is an environment, and it's a special environment, I think. And of course, like any community you go to, wherever you live, you will find cyclists. But then there's a difference between a community that just embraces it and pushes it heavily, like Traverse City area does. Do you think about that, about how that was a huge benefit in growing up and how that helped you throughout the way?
It definitely was. Yeah, just having the right community around you that's excited about the sport and wants to help you and help you grow and get to where your dreams are is, yeah, a huge, huge help. And I think a lot of riders around here have these dreams and they enjoy it, and the community is helping them too. So I think even with GLORi here, I think it'll help it even more. I think we'll, create an even bigger community in mountain biking and kind of, I guess, expose the different parts of it. Because I guess when I was younger, I didn't even know what World Cup racing was. I didn't know that much about it or how to get there. So yeah, just having the people around me that know about it and want to help you and, show you the path to where you want to go is a huge help. It's made a huge difference.
For sure.
So another benefit, I think, of having a team is getting these riders together, not just to race together, but get them training together, which they already do. I mean, physiologically, huge benefits for training together. You're just going to dig that much deeper, and the speed increases when you're in a group. And psychologically, like mentally, if you're around other people that are strong, you're going to want to match them, if not beat them. So that you tend to dig a bit deeper. So that's why I think and I probably would put a lot of credit towards Larry Warbass. He's a former U.S. national road champion. He's from Traverse City as a bit of a role model or inspiration to prove to the riders from this area, hey, there's awesome training here, and if you train real hard, you'll get to the top level, which has proven is possible. So I think there's really good role models here, and the fact that there's some really fast riders, they all ride together, it just keeps producing more and more talent from this part of the world.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm always blown away. I mean, Traverse City is not a big town. I mean, it's a medium-sized town, but the amount of talent that comes out of there is pretty impressive. And I'm sure if you started a team down in the Detroit area or Grand Rapids, you probably have numbers to pull some athletes, but the fact that you have can have so many talented athletes from the Traverse City area, and I absolutely think it helps to have the Larry Warbass or even the Norte community that kind of fosters the love of cycling from a very young age. It's something special. So I think it's a natural progression from what's already kind of happening and kind of incubating in that community already to have something now, the next step for young riders that are looking to go beyond the Michigan area and expand.
Yeah, that's it. And you hit the nail on the head there, Trevor. It's the Norte program does amazing work for young kids. So we've got this whole pool of talent that know how to ride. Norte's taught them how to ride their bikes skillfully, how to ride through the woods. And then once they get out of school, they're kind of graduated from the Norte program. But now this is the next step. So you're out of school and, you might want to go to college, but you still want to race or something. Then, previously, all right, well, if I want to keep pursuing my mountain biking as a sport, it's going to be really expensive and quite difficult and take up a lot of my time to get to and from races. But now I hope GLORi can ease that transition a little more and make it a bit more realistic that these young kids can keep going with their passion.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned training together. I know it's in the middle of January, but Emma, have you started seriously training, and are you training with some of the other athletes at this moment, or you stuck inside on a trainer, or how's that working?
Thankfully, it's been a weird January without the snow. So I've actually been riding outside more often than I usually would any other winter, which is a lot better. I'm not a fan of the trainer. It can get really boring. So I like riding outside. But actually, I'll be going to North Carolina in a few weeks, and Garrett Genema is in Brevard too. So I'll be able to train with him and a few other people. So that'll be a huge help. And I'll definitely get lots more miles and hours in down there than the Michigan weather that you don't really know what it's going to be like every day. So yeah, I'm excited to be down there and have more people to train with.
Great. And I'm interested in goals then. First year, first season, individual goals. So Emma, like, what are your goals for the season? And I guess schedule too, like what races will you be hitting? And then GLORi, in a bigger picture, what's the goals for the team as a whole? So Emma, you want to start with individually, like what you're looking at, where you're going to race, and then like some of the goals you have for those races.
Yeah, so for this year, my first race will actually be in California, Temecula, California. It's a UCI race. And I've never been there before. I've never raced in California. So I'm really excited for that. That'll be interesting. It's in March, so it's pretty early for most Michigan riders, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that'll be my first race in Temecula, and then we'll be in Fayetteville, Arkansas again. That's a really technical course, and I enjoy it, but it's tough because we're not used to that riding at all. It's just a different, I don't know, it's just very weird compared to Michigan, but exciting. So I'm gonna try to hit as many UCI races as I can. Not all of those schedules are out quite yet. And then I want to go to mountain bike nationals, but my main goal is to try to make it into a World Cup. So yeah, I just have to collect UCI points and try to place at some of these races. And hopefully I can race in the Snowshoe World Cup and then possibly Canada, but we'll see if I can make it into Snowshoe first. But yeah, that's like my main goal for this year. And then of course, Michigan races too, as many of those as I can hit. But if I could make it to a World Cup, it'd be amazing.
Snowshoe and you mentioned Canada. Are those the only 2 World Cups in North America, or are there others?
Those are the only ones, yeah, in North America.
Okay.
Then I'd have to go. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it makes it tough, especially if you want to go, I'm sure, like go down the World Cup side of things, to be based in North America. And I think that's why you see so many athletes, spending time in Europe or whatever. But yeah, I think that's a great goal. Hitting as many, trying to build up on those UCI points, getting used to that style of racing more and that level of competition. And then, trying to get into those World Cups. That's fantastic. What about the team as a whole? I'm sure like your individual goals are probably echoed with a lot of the other athletes. But are there any like larger team goals, Justin, that you might have for the year?
Well, what Emma mentioned, getting qualification for the World Cup in Snowshoe, that's kind of first big goal we've set for the first season of the team. If we can get 2 or 3 riders, and I'm confident we could even get 4 of them to qualify for that World Cup, that would be a huge success for our first year. To get entry to a World Cup, it won't be like GLORi riders at the World Cup. I mean, they will be the riders there, but you get selected for a national team to race a World Cup, and you get on the national team once you've got a certain amount of UCI points. So hence the purpose in going to UCI races earlier in the season this year. But as far as long-term is concerned, I think if we can keep it at this kind of level where we can fund a full season of North American UCI races for local riders, then that would be, I think that's awesome. I think another big thing that separates this team from other development programs is people like Emma, Kai Olshavy, Garrett Jenema, Max Meyer, Drew Cummins as well. He's at university in Ann Arbor, but he's also going to be doing some races here for us. They've all been intricately involved in the development of the team, so they know what's going on. It's not just me, as a team manager, doing everything and they just have to ride. They've been putting the proposals together. They've been chatting to the sponsors. They know exactly what the budget of the team is. They know what money's coming in and going out. They know, how much it'll cost to get to certain races. They've designed the kit. Emma's designed the kit. They've worked with the different types of sponsors we're trying to get on board, selecting the bikes and whatnot. So the team is bigger than any one person. And I mean, I'm not going to be around forever, but I want GLORi to be around forever. So if there's a group of riders they're not just riders. They're also learning about bookkeeping, about team management, about sponsorship engagement, things like this. If they can learn those skills along the way, then not only will they keep GLORi going, or they'll have the skills to keep GLORi going, but they'll also be able to develop some other skills that will help them in whatever aspect of life they might delve into in the future. Because I know as well as anyone that a bike riding career does not last that long. It seems like it's over in a flash the older you get. But yeah, so that's I think a big facet of the GLORi as a team is the riders are intricately involved in the running of the team. It's not just, staff or a manager or whatever doing everything for them.
Yeah. That's great. And I know too, I don't know anything about being a professional athlete, but what I hear from athletes and stories they tell is the more that you know about the business side of things or being able to manage yourself personally helps you as an athlete, or can help you as an athlete down the road. So you not only do you focus on training and all of those things, but there's that whole other business side of things that you got to make sure that you're on top of, because that can make or break your professional career for sure.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more of a factor in this day and age than it has been in the past. So good time to be getting on board with those skills.
You mentioned having some great community support and local support. So first year for GLORi, what are some of your main sponsors for the team? And tell us a little bit about how that is.
Well, our biggest sponsor is Andy Weir from Brick Wheels. So he's the owner of Brick Wheels, and Brick Wheels is the biggest bike store in Traverse City. So they're our largest cash sponsor. Great. And they're helping us out with the bikes. So we're going to be riding Cannondale bikes. They should be arriving hopefully in March. We're the same pressures that everyone else is under with supply chain issues and not getting hold of the bikes. So we've dealt closely with Andy at Brick Wheels. He's been super supportive and super generous, not just with sponsoring the team, but with advice on all the different business aspects of running the team. Max's Service, they service all kinds of white goods here in Traverse City, and the owner of that business, Jeff Owens, he's been a big supporter of these riders. He trains with them. I mean, he's super quick himself. Maybe he wants a spot on the team too, but he's been a great support. We've got North Bay Produce. They're a local business, but they're quite big. They're international. They develop a lot of blueberries, blackberries, strawberries. So it's an agricultural company. They're supporting us this year as well. Stonehound Brewing, local brewing brewery here in Acme, Michigan, where we have a lot of our team meetings. They've been helping us out with good beverages and some financial support. Plamondon Shoes. I mean, we've got a heap. So we've got a bevy of they're all local businesses. They're all supporting us to get going this year, and it's been awesome so far. So we've got a local chiropractor. They're helping us out with helping the riders out with adjustments and massage and things like that, which has been a big help.
So definitely not just a couple sponsors, but a lot of support from many different interested parties that want to be a part of this team, which I think is definitely a exciting
it's been
thing.
Awesome, and it's blown me away. I mean, in my past as an athlete and working for teams, I get used to putting these proposals together and sending them out and just constantly getting knocked back. But I mean, I've been blown away of how positive and how supportive a lot of the local businesses and personnel have been here in Traverse City for this idea and these riders. I mean, it speaks volumes as to the type of people these riders are. People want to support them. They want to get behind them. So, it's awesome.
Well, it's definitely exciting to hear about the team. When I first heard about it, I'm like, oh yeah, this makes complete sense. Knowing the riders and the caliber of talent that there were, and it's just like I said, like a next step for the athletes, but then for the community, I guess, for the cycling community in the area. And I think it's a great representation for Michigan cycling, for Traverse City cycling. So I'm excited to see that like branch out into the different areas of the country, into the national scene, maybe even in the international scene. So very exciting, and best of luck to you, Emma, as you race, and Justin, best of luck as you try to corral the athletes and keep everything straight. But I know just the traveling and the racing, and that there's so many details that go into it. So this was great. I'm not sure if there's anything else that either of you had to say before we wrap this up.
No, it's awesome. Go GLORi. I mean, the riders and like I said before, they've done a lot of the work to get this team going to where it is at the moment, and they'll keep it going throughout the year. So, yeah, when you see them out on the road, give them a cheer, say good day, and, well, hello, or whatever the American equivalent is. And yeah, I mean, it's when we do these races around the country, there'll be people looking. I mean, I know the riders, I know their power numbers. It's good, it's impressive, and there'll be spectators going, "Wow, what's his GLORi riders? Where are they from? Oh, Traverse City. We better go check it out." So hopefully we get some more people coming up here, maybe to do some riding, and maybe even move up here and we get even more riders up here.
Again, thank you. And again, good luck. Emma, good luck on your training throughout the next few months. And then as you look toward March for your first race, and I will definitely be keeping tabs on the team and cheering you on from here. So thank you again for joining.
Good on you. Thank you, Trevor.
The Dirty Chain Podcast is a Michigan Mid-Pack Media production in partnership with KOM Cycling, the source for your bike accessories and necessities. Connect with us on Instagram and Facebook at Dirty Chain Podcast. Email dirtychainpodcast@gmail.com. If you are enjoying the podcast episodes, please leave us a rating and review on whatever platform you use to listen. Audio editing and original music by myself, Trevor Gibney. And a huge thank you to Emma Schwab and Justin Morris for sharing more about the GLORi racing team out of Traverse City. And thank you all for listening to the Dirty Chain Podcast. And as always, keep your chain clean, but get your chain dirty. We will see you in the mid-pack.